How are you? This is Steve Travolta and welcome to DVD number 1. In this DVD we're going to be using primarily the major pentatonic scale. The major pentatonic scale is as near and dear to country guitar as the minor pentatonic or the blues scale is to rock or blues. So you're going to become really familiar with it and you're going to hear it over and over again, find all different kind of ways to use it. So the first thing we ought to do, since we're only going to be playing over one chord in this DVD, and that's the G chord, we probably ought to learn a G major pentatonic scale. So the first one we're going to learn is here in the open position. May or may not be in a familiar position to a lot of you, but we're going to learn it because it's the bread and butter of country guitar. Here's what it sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what I think is really important about country guitar is this, as opposed to other styles. I think you need to see every scale as it's superimposed over a chord shape so you can tell where you are on the fretboard. For instance, this scale that I just played is based out of the G chord. If you're using the cage system, this would be the G chord, the open position G chord. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to superimpose the 5 notes, penta meaning 5 of course, of the major pentatonic over this G scale, this G chord rather. Now, check it out. This is a movable scale. So if I, what I call triangulate, that's a big word, but if I find where the tonics are for this G chord, then I can conceivably move it to any position I want. So as I play this chord, I realize that the tonic tones are on strings 6, 3, and 1. So then, if I want to move it to any other key, say the key of C, I just have to find the position where I can play the tonic tones on strings 6, 3, and 1. And I duplicate the notes by superimposing the pentatonic over that chord shape. And this is C major pentatonic. And using that, I can then move it to any other key that I need. So, I think the next important thing to do would be to learn the scale. So, I'm going to teach it to you string by string, note for note. Okay, we're going to start down here with G, string 6, fret 3. 5, open. 5, 2. Notice my fingerings. 4, open. 4, 2. 3, open. 3, 2. 2, open. 2, 3. Now some people play that with their 3rd finger, some people play it with their 4th. I happen to use my 4th, but I'm going to show it to you with my 3rd. Because I think a lot of people play it, more people probably play it with the 3rd finger. Then I go to string 1, open, and then string 1 at the 3rd fret. I'm going to teach it to you descending too. I think that's important to know. Here we go. Same thing backwards. 1, 3rd fret. 1, open. 2, 3. 2, open. 3, 2. 3, open. 4, 2. 4, open. 5, 2. 5, open. 6, 3. Now that probably kind of sounds kind of plain and ordinary by itself, but suppose I play this scale along with the backing track for a few minutes here, and we'll see what it sounds like when I start playing some country licks using this scale, and you'll get an idea what it sounds like and how it'll come to life. Well, what I hope you heard me do there was take this simple pentatonic scale and play some typical sounding country licks in the open position and make it come to life. So, let's go on. There's one thing that I did in there that I think we ought to be familiar with because it's so natural to this particular position. That is, we're going to add another note to this scale. We're going to add what I call the country note. And that is, we're going to put a chromatic tone, which is a half step between the second and third notes of the pentatonic scale. So if I start with this note down here, the first note, and the second note, and the third note, as you recall, we're going to put a chromatic tone between notes 1, 2, and 3. 1, and then 2, and then chromatic tone. And that gives us this sound. That's the granddaddy of all country licks. So let me show you how to play it. We're using the G major pentatonic scale as we talked about earlier, and we're adding that chromatic tone between notes 2 and 3. But what I'm doing is I'm sliding with my second finger into that B note on the 5th string. Third finger, open, and then slide. And the reason I use my second finger as a slide is because that puts me back in position, so I'm back where I can play the rest of the scale. And I'm also sliding there and not picking. And then open 4, 4, 2, 4, open. And then 3, open. 3, 4. Now let's take that country note and put it in the second octave. So starting with the low octave, we're going to continue up the scale to the second note, which is A, and then I slide up with my second finger a half step to get 3rd string, 3rd fret, or the B flat note. And again, you'll notice I'm sliding rather than playing the note. I think it gives more of the kind of the bluegrass country sound. It allows me to play those open string kind of cascading ideas with all the strings ringing into each other. So, and then I continue up the scale as before. I'm just going to reverse it now and go down the scale. 3, 4. Aha! Notice I'm using my second finger and sliding backwards this time. Down the rest of the scale. Sliding again. Okay, I'm going to teach you now another major pentatonic scale based on the next available position higher than the one we just played. Here's what it sounds like and looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, we're going to play this one in the second position, and here's how to play it. 6-3, 6-5. Notice my fingerings. 5-2, 5-5, 4-2, 4-5, 3-2, 3-4. Watch my fingerings. 2-3, 2-5, 1-3, 1-5. And I want you to do it descending. Here we go. 1-5, 1-3, 2-5, 2-3. And again, watch my fingerings. 3-4, 3-2, 4-5, 4-2, 5-5, 5-2, 6-5, 6-3. The reason I said watch my fingerings is because you need to shift positions when you're switching from the third to the second string. Watch my hands again. I'm in position there, but now I shift up a fret and go into the third position here. So I have my fingers 1 and 3 available for that, so I can do the bending later on. So I'm shifting to my third position here when I get up to the first and second strings. When I get down to the third string, I shift down to the second position and continue the scale. In that position.